Greetings again, townsfolk. Welcome to my first ever Xbox Informal Friday, or XBIF. Uh, I am once again joined by the wondrous ODT Reaper.
Greetings from uh, the afterlife, I should say. This is going to be kind of fun.
Well, it's meant to be informal, so it's just whatever is on your mind. But the only thing different about this compared to the Wednesday roundtable is that there will be some topics that will like bounce on.
Okay, I've been kind of staying out of the media as of like the last couple of days. I've been too busy doing other shit. So
Yeah, I want to say this week compared to like others has been a little dry.
I just don't really understand why people have to go and quit and complain about like Game Pass like awesomeness, and they want to whine and complain about exclusivity all day long when it should be open for everybody to enjoy, not just one person.
Well, I don't understand it either. I guess you could say it's one of those things that hovers around that very same form of mindset of somebody who would equate Game Pass to basic cable without HBO.
Well, like I was going over that in my my records as I was like going back and forth through history books, and I was realizing like this used to be a cable box, and now it's like just like community cable, which is kind of cool. But that's just kind of everybody's creativity in and of itself makes everybody's day entertainment better and better.
Yep, but since we are starting off with the Game Pass thing, the topic I just wanted to discuss was, pretty much I want to say since last month up till now, Game Pass has really been slaughtering.
Well, yeah. Well, it's a decent bang for your buck enjoyment on the go, stationary, at your desktop. I don't care.
Yeah,
it helps everybody, therefore it's a good deal for everybody. Now, whether you like the variety on the actual service is your own personal beef, and it remains that way, and it will probably remain that way for them probably another 2 decades or so, till we all basically have our own personal playlist on our nice little Apple Watches or Android watches, or whatever the hell we want to project our own personal VR on the go.
In actuality, do they have something like that on Game Pass?
Not yet.
Playlist? Yeah,
Not yet.
or recommendations or something. Like,
no. They want to fix that that Oculus and that HoloLens experience to the T, so it doesn't hurt anybody.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean, they just been really just killing it with these games they've been releasing, and it's just, it's like it almost makes you want to retract a lot of your statements about to Metacritic. So like wow, yeah. you guys really hate Xbox games, and it's like unless they started firing people and rotating people out, as far as the main reviewers.
Well, that's kind of why it's not really a stationary career, because it always changes. Unless you're the one dialing in the code inside the actual software, then you're cool. Because then your job never really changes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just amazing seeing back to back, bangers. It's like, and I'll be honest with you, I really would not have expected them to even cast a gaze over at a flight simulator.
Well, I think now that I remember how that is going to work, they want to use the flight simulator to actually like simulate the VR actual throttle on the joystick. I think is how that actually is going to work.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I do remember that discussion that VR is supposed to be coming to Flight Simulator, and I mean, heck, there's no other better game that will be suited for it.
But I'm kind of curious how they're going to then judge like the severity to the minority or whatever minority, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
To the toxicity of how much you can play and how much you cannot, how addicted you can be. Not. I just hope it doesn't turn off your television. Basically, it's like always having your television on. That would just completely suck. But it'd probably be safer than most.
I'm just wondering how this is going to work out for people who have a fear of heights.
That's probably why they're going to make everybody play their VRs in their rooms or in their houses or somewhere there it's level floor. Don't play over the balcony. It's not my fault if you go over into space.
Yeah, you really have no business being outdoors anyway. trying to mess with any sort of VR whatsoever. It's definitely not recommended. So, but I mean, anything right now of the of those hits that you're playing yourself?
No, I want to play my Call of Duty. Although I've been kind of curious. I'm like, did they really play the Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 4 card? That's actually pretty cool. I think that's actually a nice idea.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
I want to see Dealer whine and complain on Twitter though, because I want to see him complain about how third parties are going to work better on PS5s next, when the reality is to get the drives to run at 0 heat to minus heat, not run hotter and hotter and hotter until they explode in your living room voltage.
Well, I think our RDX buddy is I'll put it to you like this. I understand his frustrations and where they're coming from.
Well, it's not really him being frustrated. It's more Richard not understanding how it works.
You know.
And then Dealer just nicely corrects him on Twitter every morning. I think it's not funny.
But yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating stuff. I mean, it really is. But as I tell a lot of people, we're on the outside looking in, and unless you can kick the door in and run inside yourself, you can't really do too much, except just it's like watching a car wreck. You can only just stand on the sideline.
Well, yeah, but I can still be the one that like, yo, Titanic, there's your cars.
It's like, hey, there's an iceberg here. That's about the most that any of us can really do. But I mean, granted, this is not one of the topics. Kind of hovering over that though, because it's being discussed right now inside of the Reddit that I'm on. Is there's actually a lot of people, and this was brought up before, is that one of the key, we already know that one of the key reasons we haven't seen much as far as quote unquote gameplay goes is because a lot of these teams have gotten those dev kits very late.
Yeah, but it also really majorly factors in on what your home entertainment voltage allowance allows you to enjoy. So that's why it varies depending on who is actually playing it. That's why it's an affordable package.
Yeah, so that's one. So that's one reason, and another reason is that people feel that Um, AMD apparently still has Microsoft tethered to some sort of an NDA, whereas I guess because they haven't, or I guess somehow or another officially unveiled a lot of stuff that's still that they haven't touched on. That's one of the reasons we haven't heard anything. Personally, I don't believe that one more than
No,
I.
well, I heard someone say that the PS5 is going to come out at like $850. I was like, yeah, okay, let's just take your tax and chop your head off. That's okay. But that's that.
They would love to charge that, but no.
I don't think they honestly have a choice, but well, one of them is going to be that much. I know the highest one is.
Well,
but unless wonderful Richard doesn't know what he's talking about, which is always possible, I should say. But considering they're get property tax, they're screwed.
But yikes! But not 900, almost $1,000 for.
Yeah. That's why it's kind of sad. Because it's all hardware property tax. It's actually horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait to see what.
I hope not. That would absolutely horrible, and they would absolutely just go flat up by December. But I hope not. That would absolutely horrible.
The thing about it is, if they were to do that, then they would definitely push more people over into a PC. And already there's
I'm going to argue you can like what you like, no matter where it comes from. But I'm also going to argue as we get higher into the actual 2020s, we're going to see the amount of resources needed go higher and higher. So the more powerful for the lower the cost, the more variety it allows the consumer to enjoy and have whatever they want. But we're about to see the new PC cards do like 9,000 lap. So it's like it's plenty of variety. It just really depends on what you like to play. And I learned that by the time this body was about 4.5 years old. So, and that was back when we still had Windows 95.
Oh God. Yeah. Such a long time ago.
Oh yeah. I don't mind being this immortally old, but it's just rather fun. Because then you get to correct people who seem to either want to know what they're talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about, or you have someone that does the exact opposite, which is more often the case, especially if they're all boomer or Gen X, tech guys talking. But then when you get into millennial, then you get really fun charity strokes of genius comedy that just don't go away. Kind of like how Porter Rock moved to Germany to save his wonderful Sony tax on his electric bill. Still not going to give him the variety that he wants, even though he says it's there. But I think we all actually still want to play that God of War 2. And I heard that Last of Us 2 beat the God of War remake walkthrough laps. I think is what I saw on Twitter this morning.
Yeah, probably have to look that up. So, but yeah, I mean the new cards are coming out, and already people are already leveraging that. I want to say it's more on the lines of the PC fans, and outside of the PC fans, those who are anti-Xbox were trying to use that as leverage to say, man, why even bother, man? Just get yourself the card. And for those who are caring to listen, this is just me, but I'm being frank about it, is just stop. Just cut it out. Because it's like if you yourself have no intentions whatsoever of buying the Series X and hell, even the PS5, then I mean, that's your wallet. That's you. Do you?
Exactly.
But other people, because I only speak for myself. I do know how to build PCs. The one I'm using now, I built myself. But I will tell you that it's pretty aged because I don't have that sort of cash flow to keep constant playing. Yeah, keep playing. Keeping up with the Jones.
What I would be kind of curious about is like when we get further down the line in evolution of how this works. Like, what are you going to tax the player on if it's not going to be that $60, $80 a year, traffic jam? That's kind of what I would like to know, because that's kind of what you're going to have to worry about. I mean, it's not like you can really tax the human body for fuel. You're like, yo, here's the electrons.
So, I mean, because I mean, it really gets to me, seeing that. I mean, it's cool to like and love what you love. Like, I love Samsung tablets. That's what I do my graphic art on and stuff. Because I'm always on the go, and it works for me. I mean, somebody will be like, hey, I would like to get a tablet myself, and I know they're artists. I'll suggest it to them, but I won't sit there trying to shove it down their throat. Like, you need to get this. Why did you get that? Why'd you get that, man? Get this.
I got it because I wish to play it. It's that simple.
Yeah, a lot of them. It's like, well, I got it because this is what I could afford. And that's that's all it comes down to, is just you do you and let people do what they want to. That's all it comes down to, and because a lot of it to me really doesn't even come off as genuine concern, for an absolute complete stranger.
No,
it's like
it kind of comes off more of like, yo, buy me now. That's exactly what it sounds like.
It's more like the deal of like, being too scared to like smoke behind the school by yourself. That's what it's like. It's like, hey, join me on PC, man. Get a PC too, so I don't get a PC too, so I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad about spending almost $2,000 for something that's going to be obsolete in the next year. Because I mean, that's the thing. That's actually one of the things that killed it for me, was just the moment I finally had the money to get, a decent new graphics card. And I'm sure you heard this saying yourself. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but the moment you take it out the wrapper, it's already obsolete.
Yeah.
and I mean, and the thing is, I mean, I would like to assume it's better now, because I will admit it's been, God, almost like maybe 4 years since I last built a PC. Probably a little bit longer than that. I lost track, and I was doing that for someone else. But the last time I did it, like this one right here that I'm using now, it's like, dude, I couldn't even use everything that's available on the motherboard without having to flash the damn thing. And that kind of did it for me, because I was like, no, man, dude, why can't they just ship these things with the stuff already in it? I mean, damn, it's like I'm one of those unlucky few that flash stuff and will wind up bricking it.
Yeah.
So yeah, $200.
I bricked 5 out of the 7 models that I bought from Xbox this generation. So,
well,
I hope I don't have to do that again, but that will not be very surprising if I do.
I bricked 2 motherboards. One was almost a $250 Asus motherboard, and I was using it in my server when I had my own server and stuff. And I wanted to use them. God, this has been a long time. Almost maybe close to 9 or so years ago, and I can't remember what it was, but it was something about using all of the fucking the memory banks, all the RAM slots, because there was a RAM slot that's disabled by default. God only knows why. And it wasn't until that I had to look it up online as to why it wasn't detecting all the RAM. It's like, oh, this is disabled by default. You have to flush it. And I'm like, oh no. And around this time, Tiger Direct does not take stuff. Well, I don't know about now, but I just know that when it came to computer components back then, they really did not take anything that was already taken out the wrapper back, especially if it was already, plugged up and had power going through it and stuff. Because to them, I guess to be fair to them, it was like, oh, you could have already fried this thing and you're trying to send it back to us to get your money back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be fair, I can understand where they were coming from, but yeah, it was a nightmare. And then you got the drivers and stuff like that. So I mean, so basically, just to bring this topic to a close, is just it's not for everybody, and that's just one of the things I would like everybody, especially anybody who's actually watching this later or listening now, is to just respect everybody's decisions, man. I mean, if because not everything is for everybody. Because it took me, almost, well in close to 2 decades to realize that building PCs is not for me because I suck at it. And it's just
I think it's going to be like quite inventive when we all have virtual RAM on our like nice little watches.
So I mean, it's the thing is, I'm one of those people where it's like I like to just plug it up, turn it on. It does what I needed to do. And yeah, sure, it sounds lazy and everything, but hey, man, it gets the job done. And if they weren't so expensive, I would just buy a pre-built PC. But it's too doggone expensive, and it's just more cost effective to just build your own. But because I don't really game on my PC and stuff like that, I just normally just use it just for mainly productive purposes and do my gaming on console. So I don't have to sit there like fussing and fretting over drivers and settings and all this other stuff. I mean, I know there's people that enjoy that freedom, and to me, it's like, dude, you rock, rock on. But for me, no, I just like to just plug it in and fire it up, and I'm already in there. So, but moving moving right along to the next topic from the Gamepass thing. What are your thoughts on this DirectX 12_2 thing? Because
depends which one it is. If it's the one that's going to update everything and run everything the way that it wants to work by variable refresh rate, then rock on.
Yeah, it's that one. It's the recent update. Basically, I guess what the debacle was that everybody was getting a little worried. Once again, that's our buddies at Microsoft with the mixed messaging thing. For some odd reason, they listed every single device under the face of God that you can imagine, except guess what? Xbox, especially the Series X, and that had a lot of people concerned. Even myself. And it was good to actually see a tweet from Jason Ronald to confirm that no, Xbox is included. I guess my only thing is as to why it was not listed is beyond me, but it's good to know that, because apparently this update included a lot of much needed stuff that where people were kind of looking at it where it's like, oh well, all this so-called RDNA2 stuff that they toot about, maybe they don't have it, because in that RDNA that DirectX 12_2, there's supposedly a lot of I guess drivers and other stuff that would have unlocked all those hardware features for anybody developing under that platform. The variable rate shading, and apparently including the ray tracing.
No, yeah, I mean it's gonna be kind of interesting. Like I said, it's really gonna matter on what your type of game style is going to be your next big argument. Because pretty soon everything's going to be tailored to each individual, I think.
Yep. So, but you being a tech guy, I just wanted to bounce that off you and see what your thoughts were on it. Because to me, I'm just happy just seeing that it's there, because it just seemed real odd that, okay, this thing is listing a lot of stuff that is supposed to be already on the Xbox, but they're not listing the Xbox. What's going on here? So it's actually good to see that, they actually, check that box. So we shouldn't have to hear no more doomsaying and no more fear mongering and no more anti-boxers trying to twist and contort it and reshape it into an arrow to shoot back into Xbox's skull. Like, oh yeah, you guys don't have this. Like, well, neither does the PlayStation. But guess what? It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's going to stop those teams from trying to deliver the best games that they can. Which is something I will give them. So. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool having all these extra features and stuff, but it's just going to come down to, if these development teams are actually going to make use of them.
I hope so, because if you put each use to use, it's actually going to give better variety of gameplay and enjoyment for the future game inventions that they come up with. Especially if everything is going to run off cloud RAM for space and actual running storage. That's actually a good thing. Yeah. Then it practically just runs off your wall.
But yeah, so you got, there's going to be all sorts of ways to expand on that space. I mean, you can't just sit there just thinking about the 16 gigs. Well, 16 gigs with only 10 that's usable, I think, per game.
Yeah, well, it's not infinite right now. Oh, hell no. Good luck.
Yeah, so it's like I
say it's still gonna matter on region, for especially if you have to run off your Gigablast services around the globe. So it's gonna be kind of interesting.
Yeah. So
I totally forgot it was September.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's fall is definitely closing in on us, and being that it is now September, that brings us to our next topic, and that is in regards to it's September, and so this actually is two of our topics. All right. The first one is, okay, Tokyo Game Show, the 24th of this month. Now, it's real strange to me that everybody, the moment the tweet was made, the moment Reddit lit up with it, the moment all the the big YouTubers brought it up in their streams and their own podcasts, it's like all gazes shifted towards the 24th. And so when the actual Xbox people made the actual tweet to more or less, chop the stilts out from under everybody's ever growing expectations about, no, there will be no next gen news. It's like everybody's hearts just shattered into just glass shards right there on the spot, because everybody's like, dude, Xbox, what's going on, guys? This is the last month. You got 2 months left. This is your last chance. What are you doing? And the reason I'm bringing this up and stuff, Reaper, is because of the fact that you mean to tell me that everybody actually just sat there collectively and instantly just because they saw that Tokyo Game Show tweet, completely forgot that the hardware and services show that we were supposed to have had over a week ago, in other words, last month, was pushed back to this month. Because even Sony is supposed to have an event themselves. I know some people quoted it was supposed to be in this week, but I personally I wasn't thinking it would be anything this soon. So I'm thinking like somewhere probably around maybe next week we might hear something about it. But I do know that they were supposed to have had one more big showing. And of that big showing, they were going to finally unveil their price. That's only what I heard. I'm not confirming that, just, getting that disclaimer out there. I'm just going by what I've read and heard myself. And that Microsoft was going to follow up with their, finally doing their hardware and services, which was going to also unveil the Series S and also go ahead and give us the prices and the dates of the launch and the pre-orders. So basically what I'm getting at with this topic is that it's amazing that everybody looked at the TGS the Tokyo Game Show tweet, got triggered, and completely forgot that we are still owed one more event. Because I know there's people that are saying that, oh man, they'll just push it back another month. They'll just push it back another month. And marketing wise, I don't think that's going to help them out any. Somebody is going to have to pull the trigger, whether they want to or not. And I think both of them are really backs against the wall, like you jump. No, you jump. You jump. And it's like both of you are gonna have to jump. That's just a sad reality. It's we can only have our monies ready, but so close out when we still got other holiday shopping to do. Providing there's really going to be that much shopping anyways. But that's just my take, because I know there's people that'll argue that, because I've already had an argument with somebody already who was like, well, just make sure you got the money. Just have the money. It's like, dude, I don't have it like that. If you got a kid that you're keeping fed and keeping clothed, no, it just doesn't work like that.
No, it works that way if you actually know what you want and what you want to play for the wonderful fall season.
But yeah, so either way, like I said, my best guess is that we will probably hear something next week from the both of them as to what their plans for this month will be. Because I'm sure Sony is going to do something, because apparently they're not looking to do TGS this time. I don't even know if they did last year either. So, because I know both them and Nintendo seem to be very happy with just doing their own thing. And Microsoft is willing to open TGS with a 55-minute event. So I'm very sure they wouldn't want to go an entire month of not giving us any sort of an update, with being with only practically we say 2 months out, but the thing is that I don't think the Series X and the S are going to launch late in November. So you might as well say we're probably floating at, for right now, because September just now started, then you could say that we're 2 months out. So I guess you could say 2.5 months. But when we get into October, it'll be 1.5 months. So I don't think they're going to really risk going that.
Well, I think it really depends on whether they want to tax it against the Black Friday sale.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think they want to do that. So the 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 rumors have been strongly pointing at the first week of November, and that would be pretty good. That would be pretty ideal because there's people who get their end of the month checks by then. So somebody would be like, okay, well, we might have to eat ramen for a bit.
Well, that's why I want to eat my steak tonight, so I eventually actually know I'm filled up afterwards.
But no complaints here. Ramen's good. This is a noodle house right here. So, but so that's where I'm looking at, is that sometime next week we should be getting some information trickling out between those two, both Microsoft and Sony, as to what's going to happen this month, because I really feel that Sony
well,
is.
I want to know what the price gouge difference is. That's kind of what I want to know.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Sony will probably try to have their event next week. They'll probably like shadow drop it, and I right now, just like the post to my Reddit, the link to my Reddit post that I dropped in.
I skimmed over it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that it's going to be the 17th. Because it's a Thursday, and a lot of times a lot of these events like to be in the middle of the week, so that it gives a lot of these these media outlets adequate time to prepare themselves and formulate all their information and get it together.
The 20th of November, or is it going to be the 27th?
Yeah. So. Yeah, and the only reason I didn't thought to pick that the end of the month, the 27th, which is after TGS, is mainly because of the fact that I was kind of feeling that might be a little too late into the month, and with all and the thing is like, with all the hype that would be killed off with not seeing anything next gen related in the TGS, it would just kind of, to me, it's like it's kind of like deflating your hot air. It's like deflating your hot air balloon before you even get to the ground. If that makes any sense. That's what it's like. You're killing your hype, before you bring things to a level point.
Yeah, and then you basically just have to keep floating in stationary until you can actually gain an actual level footing again. But that just means you got to level down.
So that's why, personally myself, I'm feeling that if they're going to do it, it would be ideal to do it on the 17th. So hopefully if they do it, we do, finally see what the S looks like. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be the cube. I don't think it's going to be the cube. And it's only because if you look at the way the components are, and it's supposedly the same board, same CPU, just a underclocked CPU. So it's probably not going to need that big of a cooler compared to what is on the X itself. And it's probably not going to need that big of a fan. So I'm just very curious as to what it's going to look like. And just like you, I'm very curious as to what the prices are going to be. And I don't think we're going to see what the remaining 5 teams that Matt Booty mentioned in the July event that weren't shown. I don't think we're going to see all of them. I think we'll probably get a teaser of Compulsion Games next title, and we'll probably finally see a teaser of what it is the initiative is doing. But I don't think we'll see anything from the coalition, or from They were right there at the tip of my brain. So, oh yeah, Ninja Theory. Because I know a lot of people want to at least see a newer trailer, but the way things are going, I don't know. I have a feeling that we're not going to see anything from them. And even if they did have anything and stuff like that, if it's something about, oh, hey, we're in Iceland now, we're filming and doing this, I would rather they just put that on their Twitter and not just use airtime, for the event, for the event, just to, just to say, hey, we're, show them, unloading cameras off the plane and, you know, you know, dicking around at checkout and stuff. I don't want to see that, man. I really don't. It's like just as long as you guys got there safe and you get back safe, and you're masked up, you're gloved up and everything, and just be safe. That's all. That's all we need to know is that you're safe. But other than that, if it's not anything that's pertinent to the game itself, just hold off until the next event. We'll be good. So, but those are things I'm looking at. Is we'll see those, and going back into the TGS thing is that there's been the long-standing rumor that there's been two studios that Microsoft has not announced yet. And one is a Polish studio, one is a Japanese studio. The Polish studios that were in the running was between Bloober, The Farm, and Techland. A lot of people are strongly wanting it to be Techland for obvious reasons. And also especially also because Dying Light kind of like went quiet.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and and there's also another bigger camp that wants it to be The Farm, because The Farm like does a lot of real, really really neat online PUBG-ish, type, style games.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few of them, and it's like, yeah, I could definitely see those existing on the Xbox platform. Because to me, it's like that. To me, that's always felt like Xbox's greatest strength was this thing about giving you titles that, even though they might not be these jaw droppers that everybody likes to, harp on about with the PlayStation stuff, like I played this and the story made me feel like this.
Yeah, but like that's kind of the thing with Sony games is they're all about platforming storyline, and they just built off of Nintendo's Mario Zelda concept. But I like Xbox variety of community PvP concepts because you never get boring.
That's the thing. I like replayability. That's my thing. If I'm going to pay for this, I want to be able to.
If I'm going to drop about $3,000, wallet per generation, I better enjoy myself.
Because a lot of the games that I have bought are games that I have not gotten rid of because I've been able to pop them back in and go back into them. And because there might have been like an ending that I didn't get, or there might have been a different path I could have took. There's, that's usually my thing. So I could see Techland being something that's, in the major running. But personally, myself, I feel that it's going to be Bloober Team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's my personal pick. And if anybody is watching or listening, feel free to, in the comment section below, tell us who you think would be, more suitable of a Polish pickup for Team Xbox. But what about you, Reap? Who would you rather?
I'd rather have Halo or an FPS.
Oh no, I mean for the
that doesn't bother me. I don't really doesn't. I don't care. Don't care.
Okay, all right. So moving right along, and once again, disclaimer, speculation. The Japanese um, acquisition that's also being rumored along with the Polish one. Um, there's many that comes to a lot of people's minds when it comes to a Japanese acquisition. Of course, Sega always being the number one pick, and the thing is, it's not going to be Sega, folks. Let's deal with that. Despite what all of us may think or say, Sega is still banking way too hard, you know, for for the things they do to get pulled under Xbox. Granted that the origins of Sega is Western based anyway. It originally was an American company. It would be a very odd, a very odd, 360 to, start in America, become Japanese, then go back to being American. That would be very interesting.
Unorthodox. I believe unorthodox is the terminology for it.
That would be the sign of the times right there. But yeah, it's definitely not. Sega's not in the running, folks. I've heard some interesting, other ideas, such as like Nihon Falcom, the guys who do the Ease series. In other words, the capital Y with the apostrophe S.
Yeah.
They have been suggested. If Phil sweet talks them enough, maybe, but I don't think that they were on the market. So to me, it's a lot. There's two choices, and logically, and we're going by logic here. We're going by these two choices because these are the two studios that I know for a fact have very, very tight working relationships with Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
And they really flourished on the Xbox platforms. The first one is Grounding Incorporated, which are.
Why does that sound familiar?
Yeah, these are the guys responsible for Phantom Dust.
Yep.
And also on top of that, the head of that studio is the creator of Panzer Dragoon.
Yep.
So when he departed from Sega and came to work for Microsoft, yes, he was an actual Microsoft employee. He came up with the idea for Phantom Dust, and after I think waiting about maybe a year or so, they finally greenlit it, let him get his own team together, and he created Phantom Dust. And then when the Xbox One came along, he made Crimson Dragon, which is a spiritual successor to Phantom Dragon. So fast forward to few years later, he wanted to try to make a sequel to Crimson Dragon, which was going to use the same RPG adventure concepts that was used in Panzer Dragon. Which one was that? My old man memory. But you have Panzer Dragon, the first Panzer Dragon. You had Panzer Dragon Zwei, which was the second one, and then there was a third one, and I can't remember what that third one was. Orta was the fourth one that came on the Xbox, but there was a third one that was a 3-disc RPG for the Sega Saturn, and I believe he wanted to try to build off of the concept of that RPG to do that for Crimson Dragon. When people were fussing about Platinum Games wanting to come back to work on Scalebound again, I was kind of like, no. No, let's not go through that again. I was like, if you really want somebody who knows how to do open worlds and, you know, work, do something with the AI driven dragon and, alien looking creatures and open world lore and all that stuff like that, then heck, get Ground and Ink on it. That would have really been up their alley. So, but of course, I know a lot of people probably like, who the hell's Ground and Ink? Yeah, we know who Platinum Games is. Yeah, we know who they are. So I can understand, people feeling that.
I bet I'm about to actually have that. Just because I can't look it up in the dictionary doesn't mean I can't do it. I'm about to have that conversation with my dad. Yeah.
So,
but you know what's even better, guys? It's when you can ask your Google display the same question you ask to a dictionary encyclopedia. But then you just got to do is use your ears for a while.
Yeah. So, but like I said, so Ground and Ink is one choice. The other choice, which I know is the more favorited choice, would be Mistwalker, which is headed by the creator of Final Fantasy, Sakaguchi. After Spirits Within, see, a lot of people don't know this because, like I said, I did a lot of deep research into what was going on with Mistwalker, especially as to what happened as to why they left. I'm still not 100% on why they left. So just like I said, everything that is heard here, just take with a grain of salt, and please do feel free to look it up yourself and correct me in a a nice, calm, well-behaved manner. Let's not be savages. Like, well, you're fucking stupid, boss. Let's not have moments like that. That should be like, hey, boss, hey, I looked this up, man, and this is what I found. That's how you share information. That's how you debate. You don't get all ugly and nasty. So, but moving on, like I said, Mistwalker is more of the favorite choice because pretty much the platform really does need more Japanese content, but of all Japanese content, it really needs more JRPGs. And I definitely strongly agree with that because I don't want to sit here being stuck to waiting on
more variety for new experiences to be had because certain people don't even know what that actual genre even is. So look at it that way.
Yeah, and it's just that it's like being starved, waiting on what I call, people hate me saying it, and they get triggered when I say it, but I'm sorry, it's the truth, is waiting on Square's table scraps. That's basically how I feel. It's like, oh wait, but you guys are getting Avengers Day 1 too. Yeah, when it comes to the American titles, to the Western titles, go fig. But when it comes to anything JRPG, it's like, oh, you got to wait a year. And there's been many cases, Reaper, where more than a year has passed and we have not seen those titles come. For example, Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
So yeah, what happened to Heroes? I remember there being something said that was only going to be on a PlayStation 4 for 1 year and then come to Xbox, and it never did. That statement got retracted fast. Dragon Quest wound up on the Wii U before it even went anywhere else.
Well, I always think it's kind of interesting how the Japanese titles get really, really hot takes in America, but they absolutely sell horribly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, being able to have Mistwalker come back and fill that void would be nice. But like I said, once again, those are just speculations, and it's only a speculation that they will announce these acquisitions or any acquisitions. So one suggestion that popped up in that post anyway was that what if they don't do it, at this September event? What if they hold off for Tokyo Game Show and announce the Japanese acquisition there? Because a lot of people are saying that despite what was posted about no next generation news, it's still being strongly advised to, check it out. And even if it's being broadcast in Japanese, I mean, dude, there's subtitles for a reason.
Yeah, that's learning to read decently is a reason too.
Yeah. And I will say this much though. I will say this. When it comes to the closed caption thing for doing subtitles on YouTube, it really sucks.
Especially
with Japanese.
Like 10 years later, I still find that's the most annoying thing about YouTube. You can never really find decent Japanese anime found in English because all the English subtitles are.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I mean, you can find them. You just have to sit there in front of a search bar for a while, and then you find a whole bunch of lists and just play them on repeat.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so like I said, so Tokyo Game Show, despite them trying to lower the expectations and all that stuff like that, I'm still going to check it out because it would be awesome because the whole thing of celebrating Japanese gaming and development, that has me interested, mainly because that if they were to just, announce any Japanese acquisitions, it would probably be during that segment. And what would be awesome is that even if they don't do an acquisition, it would be cool if they say something like, oh, also, we are building a new team from the ground up, our 16th team under Xbox Game Studios, which will be a Japanese branch, which is only for publishing smaller, lesser known titles. That would be killer, because that would be the gateway to like a lot of smaller, lesser known games and studios being introduced into more Western markets. So they'll still have the option of going to Steam, which a lot of them already have been doing. But to be able to get their stuff on consoles, on Gamepass, would be very big for them.
Yeah. Well, I think the eventual goal is to get everything on Game Pass and just put everything on a holiday rinse and repeat cycle.
Yeah. And another reason this is big as well is that, see, a lot of people don't know this. And the only reason I know this is just from my own indie dev background, is that there's a shit ton of indie developers over in Japan, and you really don't hear very much from them. When you see some of them that actually manage to make their way into Steam, that is only a sliver.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of them. You just don't see them.
Yeah, and and see, the thing is, there's two of them that I'm friends with. I haven't spoken to Watanabe in almost a year. I hope he's doing all right. But yeah, but anyways, sorry about that. But yeah, thinking about one of them and stuff like that, it's like, we've been friends for like a long time, because I even was trying to scout them myself to bring them onto my team. But they are very disgruntled about the indie scene over there, because apparently to them it's like Sony and Nintendo, which they normally would look up to, you would expect them to look up to, really crap on them hard. And so they usually have to,
and exposure, really. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. So it seems like they're more hard pressed and interested in, the more Western-based indie scene than they are, with their own, unless the ones that are around their own doorstep happen to have something that they can, step up onto to, to even like, meet their gaze.
Mm-hmm.
So something like an Xbox Game Studios World Publishing Branch Japan would be big for over there.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you want to make sure Japan and Tokyo keep running throughout the entire pandemic that's like hitting the West Coast.
Yep. So you want more fresh ideas and diversity and oddball content thrown in the Game Pass? There you go.
Well, I'm kind of curious how this PS5 is going to work. This is kind of cool. I like this little diagram that I've been shown on Twitter.
I don't know.
It kind of just looks like a well, that is exactly what it is. It's a 5G Wi-Fi wireless modem router diagram.
Yeah,
which is like all SSD hardware, and it is absolutely going to light your wall on fire.
Dude, if that is the way the exhaust system is working in that thing, there's going to be fire, all right. I don't know. I digress, because I know there's going to be people upset with me saying that, and I will apologize, because I do want to see more. Matter of fact, I don't want to see no more graphics. I don't want to see no more CGI. We at least have seen the physical Xbox. All right. I will, just the same as everybody's like, oh, you want to see gameplay? You want to see gameplay? I want to see the PS5. I want to see a legit PS5 being opened up. I want to see. Matter of fact, I think E-Rock said it. I want to see the back of the damn thing. Why aren't y'all showing the back? We even with the CGI of the Series X, we at least
down pretty slim. I like it that it's like a good 12 to 13 inches across. It's actually a pretty decent length and height as well.
Yeah, no idea who stands that's going to fit under. Definitely not any of ours here in this house.
Just make sure it's near a fan, and then you're good.
like smoking. Anyways. So, but yeah, so like I said, I would, just to bring this to a close, I would definitely say that next week, I would say for, everybody keep an eye out for any information that pops up, because I have a feeling that any information is just going to be just drop in on us. But if either of those two are going to do anything, it has to be within either next week or the week after. Those are only times I can see that. Because once we get to the week of the 24th to getting close to the Tokyo Game Show, it's going to more or less be too late, because it's going to be too late into the week, and anything that happens at TGS is what's going to close out the rest of the month.
Yeah, and then you have all of October to screw around with, I guess.
Yeah, and ideally, October should be the time of filling pre-orders. Not, yeah, we can still get information. Like stuff that's like oh, hey, this new game's coming. Oh, this is where Halo is sitting at. Yeah, you can still get news for games, but getting a price and opening pre-orders is a little late in the game by then. That's just my take. I mean, can't stop them if they do that. Damn if they do, damn if they don't. But hopefully they don't.
I mean, seems like everything's going according to actual progress, at least. I know everybody's still kind of pissed off at Infinity Ward, though. I want it to work. I don't care. As long as it works, we're gonna get rewarded no matter what we play and when and where.
Tell them this. Be like, you got two choices. Would you rather be pissed off or pissed on? I mean, neither one.
I'd rather not be on fire. That's a good thing.
So, but yeah, but anyways, I appreciate you coming in on this one. This is going to be an ongoing thing. I'm going to do these every Friday.
Okay.
I'll probably try to target more later in the day, in the day close to the evening, and the one for Wednesdays, the round table, I'll probably keep it around late afternoon.
Yeah, no, like if it wasn't a Friday, it wouldn't really make a difference.
Yeah, so. But yeah, but this is probably something that's better for the evening and all that. So, but
I get to have steaks tonight, and I get to enjoy a nice Disney Plus showing for the first time on the planet. Yay!
Yeah, you say you're watching Mulan, huh?
Yeah, I was just curious if anybody had actually seen it already. I've seen a whole bunch of angry reviews everywhere, but I haven't watched anything, so I want to keep an open mind until I at least watch it once.
Yeah, people have to understand. Eddie Murphy wasn't going to be available to voice no dragon in this one. But no, I don't know. Like I said, I'll be honest with you. I did not even know that it came out.
Yeah, it came out this morning, I think, is what everybody was saying. I don't have Disney Plus for some reason. I think that's kind of how they tagged me. I was like, oh, all right, whatever. I'll just wait.
All righty, well, shoot, dude. Let us, definitely let me know how, what your thoughts are on it when you get to see it.
No, I definitely will, because I'll be back in this chair later this afternoon, because I have to go pick up my wonderful dragons at the airport tomorrow. Yay!
All righty. Okay, well, that's a wrap for Xbox Informal Friday. For those of you that tuned in to listen, or those that listen afterwards, I really appreciate you lending your ears to this No Name Nobody. And I shall catch you next Wednesday. And hopefully I'll be able to drag you back in too as well, Reaper.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'm assuming I'm not sleeping.
All right, man. I'll catch you later, and thanks again.
All right, later.